Hello, my name is Troy McCormack. Today, my presentation is on teaching like Christ. In the higher education setting, we often have to plan for effective communication, and this can be very difficult. But if we maintain our Christian principles, it can be a breeze and can also be quite enjoyable. Most of this presentation will be considered based upon the principle that collaboration will be occurring in the realm of higher education. We live in a volatile world, a world where conflict is very common. In the halls of higher education, this conflict does not disappear, but can become quite manifest. When a situation of disagreement occurs, it is important to remember there are a number of steps that we can take to de-escalate the situation. Those in law enforcement are very familiar with de-escalating situations to not make it worse than it has to be. Now, in the higher education setting, one of the first things we can do is to avoid contention. Contention is bad. Contention is when we disagree at the core of our beliefs. Maybe it's based on some curriculum or a piece of evidence that's occurring through scientific journals that maybe haven't been peer reviewed, or a number of things can happen. Just maybe based on political persuasions. Disagreements can be very confrontational. So often it's best to take an emotional step back, avoid the contention, and not allow yourself to become enthralled in the emotional moment. One way to do this, and to take a step back, is to practice empathy. Empathy is better than sympathy. It's showing true Christ-like love. The term agape, meaning love for all men, or all mankind, from the Greek, is an important thing to remember when dealing with those who have aroused our emotions in a very real way. In order to overcome those emotions, it's best to not become a party to the conversation, but still to be engaged in a meaningful and empathetic way. Now, there are a number of good practices that we can use for communicating effectively when we must work together on a project with our team members. Number one would be to meet regularly, not just have one meeting and expect everything to be done in that one meeting. We need to be inclusive, not leave one person out of the conversation because maybe they're a little more timid, or they feel like maybe they don't have much to bring to the project. We need to show some respect. We need to show that we care about other people's input and that we care about what they have to say and what they believe and how they feel the project should go. Another really interesting and more effective thing is using technology like online collaboration tools. Web 2.0 can be very helpful. Web 2.0 tools like Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, and just staying in contact with these social media things in order so that we don't get lost in the project. Another thing is being transparent, clear, and concise about what everybody's role within that project needs to be, so that nobody is lost and so that everybody knows what their intended role is, and that they're able to effectively communicate that role by being clear with what they have to say. Communication can be quite hard and difficult in higher education. Oftentimes, communication occurs not in a direct face-to-face manner, especially when doing online collaboration, and there are certain paralinguistic cues that are difficult to interpret in the online learning environment. If you've ever been on Facebook and been going and on the comments and reading people's comments, it's hard to figure out things like gesture, emphasis, and intonation. These things are lost, as well as dealing with egos. People's egos in the higher education field are quite high. They're very educated, they have strong opinions, and they're not willing to remove those opinions simply by just having a meeting. This is one of the most important things to remember when dealing with communication in higher education, is to just know how to overcome these difficulties. Thank you for listening. Here are my references. Have a great day.